Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder, or maybe a little bit of dread? For centuries, humanity has been fascinated by comets, those icy wanderers of the solar system. And no comet has captured our imagination and our fear, quite like Halley's Comet. Today, we're diving into the incredible history of comet panics, exploring how these celestial visitors sparked mass hysteria and doomsday predictions. So, what exactly is Halley's Comet? It's a short-period comet, meaning it returns to Earth's vicinity on a regular schedule about every 76 years. It's the only one visible to the naked eye that can appear twice in a human lifetime. Its name comes from Edmund Halley, the English astronomer who, in 1705, correctly predicted its return. He realized that the comets seen in 1531, 1607, and 1682 were actually the same object. He calculated it would be back in 1758. And he was right. But long before Halley put a name to it, this comet was making waves. For most of human history, anything that disrupted the predictable patterns of the heavens was seen as a bad omen. A star that moved, that grew a tail, and then vanished. That had to mean something terrible was coming. In ancient times, comets were blamed for everything from the deaths of kings and emperors to plagues, famines, and wars. The famous Bayeux Tapestry, which chronicles the Norman conquest of England in 1066, even features Halley's Comet. The English saw it and thought, uh-oh, this is a sign of disaster. And for their king, Harold Godwinson, it was. He was defeated and killed at the Battle of Hastings shortly after. Coincidence? To them, it was anything but. This fear wasn't just an ancient superstition. It persisted for centuries. Comets were often called hairy stars, and they were seen as celestial warnings, divine messages of wrath. You can find depictions of them in old manuscripts, always looking menacing, hanging over scenes of death and destruction. People genuinely believed these objects had a direct and malevolent influence on their lives. Fast forward to the early 20th century, science had come a long way. We understood what comets were, mostly ice, rock, and dust. We knew their orbits. We knew Halley's Comet was on its way back for its 1910 appearance. So you'd think people would be less scared, right? Wrong. The panic of 1910 was one for the history books. Here's what happened. Astronomers made a new discovery. Using a technique called spectroscopy, they analyzed the light from the comet's tail and found traces of a toxic gas called cyanogen. Now, this is where the trouble started. The Earth was predicted to pass through the tail of Halley's Comet. When the newspapers got a hold of this story, they ran sensational headlines like "Earth to be bathed in poison gas." And will we all perish? The media frenzy was immediate and intense. People who had previously been excited about the comet's return were now terrified. They imagined the sky turning yellow and the air becoming unbreathable. The public's imagination ran wild. The New York Times reported on the widespread fear, noting that people were sealing up their windows and doors with paper and rags, trying to keep the poisonous gas out. Enter the opportunists and charlatans, seeing a golden opportunity. Entrepreneurs started selling so-called comet pills. These were essentially sugar pills or other useless concoctions marketed as antidotes to the comet's poison. One popular brand was advertised with the slogan, "Be prepared to meet the comet." People, desperate for a solution, bought them in droves. There were also anti-comet umbrellas and even gas masks being sold on street corners. Churches held all-night prayer vigils, and some people, convinced the end was nigh, gave away their worldly possessions. Of course, the scientists tried to calm everyone down. They explained that the amount of cyanogen gas in the tail was so incredibly thin to diffuse that it would have absolutely no effect on Earth's atmosphere. The famous astronomer Camille Flammarion was quoted as saying the gas would be as harmless as the tail of a dog that was wagged in a room. But in an age of yellow journalism, reason and logic were no match for a scary headline. Fear sells. On the night of May 18th, 1910, the Earth passed through the tail. People held their breath, waiting for the end. And nothing happened. The sun rose the next morning, the air was perfectly breathable, and the world was exactly as it had been the day before. The great comet panic of 1910 was over. The newspapers, which had fanned the flames of fear, quickly moved on to the next story. The people who had bought comet pills were probably feeling a little foolish. This event is a fascinating case study in mass psychology, shows how a little bit of scientific information taken out of context and amplified by a sensationalist press can lead to widespread panic. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of scientific literacy and critical thinking. So when Halley's Comet made its next appearance in 1986, things were different. We were in the space age. Instead of cowering in fear, we sent probes to meet it. The International Halley Armada, a fleet of spacecraft from Europe, the Soviet Union, and Japan, flew by the comet, giving us our first ever close-up images of a comet's nucleus. The most famous of these was Europe's Giotto probe, which flew daringly close and sent back incredible data. This time, the public reaction was one of excitement and scientific curiosity, not terror. People held comet parties and bought telescopes. The media coverage focused on the science and the spectacle. It was a celebration of human ingenuity and our quest for knowledge. What a difference 76 years makes. The story of Halley's Comet is really the story of our own changing relationship with the cosmos. We went from seeing comets as terrifying omens of doom, to fearing them based on pseudoscience and media hype, to finally embracing them as objects of scientific wonder and exploration. It shows our progress from superstition to science. But the impulse to fear the unknown is still a part of human nature. In the age of the internet, misinformation can spread even faster than it did in 1910. Every time a new asteroid or comet makes a close approach to Earth, you can bet there will be articles and videos claiming it's going to hit us and cause an apocalypse. These modern-day comet panics are the digital descendants of the 1910 hysteria. That's why understanding this history is so important. It teaches us to question sensational claims, to look for reliable sources, and to trust the scientific process. The universe is full of amazing and sometimes intimidating phenomena, but knowledge, not fear, is our best tool for navigating it. Halley's Comet is currently heading back out to the far reaches of the solar system, but it will be back. Mark your calendars for 2061. By then, who knows what our understanding of the universe will be? Maybe we'll have colonies on Mars, or even be able to visit the comet ourselves. One thing is for sure, when that hairy star returns to our skies, it will find a humanity that has come a long way from sealing its windows in fear. It will find a species that looks up not with dread, but with curiosity and a sense of our own place in this vast, incredible cosmos. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history and space, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about our amazing universe. See you next time.